Yes, sir, we can start the class.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Oracle's 21-day revision series live classes for university exams. The topic of discussion for today is nutrition and health, social sciences and health. I am Dr. Preetham Shenoy from the Department of PSM. So there is rapid revision of all important questions. Volatile facts will be revised quickly. High-yield topics will be discussed and most anticipated questions will be discussed in detail. So, what are the questions for today's discussion? We have 6 short essays of 5 marks each. First one is National Nutritional Monitoring System. Then there is role of prevention of Food Adulteration Act in the IDD, that is Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program. Indian Red Cross Society discuss starvation in India and how it can be averted. Epidemic dropsy, and the last question, concept of recommended daily allowances. Why choose Oracle? So there is option of recorded classes where you can learn anytime, anywhere with your own pace and at your own place, right? So the second benefit is live classes where you will engage in real-time learning experiences, connect with the expert educators and your fellow students. Practical sessions impose you into a world of getting practical skills which are required also to face your Viva Voce examination. The examination module, which is specially curated, which covers the entire subject within 20 hours. And the last benefit of Oracle is the hard copy book set, which elevates your academic journey with comprehensive notes prepared by our experts. So the foundational classes unlock the power of learning of Oracle, which is covering last 10 years of questions which have appeared in the university exams and also FMGE exam. So you will learn the answer writing skills through these foundation classes. That's how we will ensure that you are properly prepared in facing your university exams. So live classes prepare you effectively for your professional exams. It's a 45-day live class series. So it is designed to cover the entire syllabus, covering all the past 10-year questions and most anticipated questions. Again, you will have in-depth coverage by experienced educators. Express exam module is meticulously designed to cover the entire syllabus under 20 hours, thus ensuring effective, efficient preparation of students. So our expert educators place a strong emphasis on answer writing skills, thus they can guide you in scoring good marks. One-to-one doubt clearing sessions where our teachers will revise all the essential topics again, provide you tips on writing answers effectively. And there is personalized attention too. The hard copy note set will cover entire syllabus covering the past 10-year questions, which is prepared by our experienced educators again. It will guide you through concepts, answer writing skills, study plans, etc. Interactive learning, that is, there is live doubt clearance, there are MCQ polls, Viva Voce, and many more. The question bank has 3 levels of expertise from beginner to expert level. You can customize it according to your needs, and it will cover MCQs for your NEET, NEXT, FMG, and professional examinations. The practical sessions basically help you gain confidence in your practical skills and also face your Viva Voce examination with full confidence. So the subscription plans provided by Oracle are 4. First one is the foundation plan, which is charged at rupees 19,999. It is of duration 3 months and the benefits are pre-recorded live classes, express exam module, practical sessions, question bank. You won't have the benefit of hard copy notes or one-to-one doubt clearing sessions. The advanced learning plan of duration 6 months starting at rupees 32,999 has all these benefits except the hard copy and the live one-to-one doubt clearing session. The complete learning plan is of duration 12 months, charged at rupees 59,999. It has options of pre-recorded live classes, express exam module, practical sessions, question bank, hard copy note set, and one-to-one doubt clearing session. The ultimate MBBS plan is of duration 4 years with all the benefits of Auricle platform charged at rupees 1,89,999. Please use the code Dr. Shenoy 20 to avail a subscription discount. So coming to today's topic, the first question is National Nutrition Monitoring System, NNMS. It's an organized framework that collects, analyzes, and disseminates data on the nutritional status, dietary practices of the population. So how people eat, what is their dietary practice, what is the nutritional status of the community. All these things are taken care by this system. So its aim is to guide health policy decisions, improve nutrition, and assess the impact of the nutrition-related health programs. What are the objectives? First one is to monitor the nutritional status. That is, assess the dietary intake, nutritional deficiencies, food security of the population. Second objective is identify the at-risk population who are at risk of malnutrition, right? So identifying groups who are vulnerable, including children, pregnant women, elderly individuals, and adolescents, okay? Even adolescents. The third objective is to track the trends, that is understanding the long-term trends in the dietary habits, nutritional deficiencies, and the obesity rates of the community. The fourth objective is to evaluate policies and programs, that is assess the effectiveness of the program, supplemental feeding programs, and other health campaigns related to nutrition. The last objective is guiding the policy decisions. After evaluation, we redraw the policy and give necessary inputs which are required. So provide data to formulate policies addressing malnutrition, obesity, and diet-related non-communicable diseases. So what are the components of National Nutrition Monitoring System? First component is surveys. In surveys, we have these many type of surveys. What are they? First one is dietary survey. That is collecting the data on food consumption, meal pattern, and nutrient intake. The second survey is the anthropometric survey. That is measuring physical parameters such as height, weight, body mass index, BMI to assess the undernutrition, overnutrition, and stunting in the population. The third survey is the biochemical survey. That is analyzing blood, urine, or other biological samples for especially the micronutrient deficiency, vitamin A, D, iron, right? All these deficiencies. The fourth type of survey is the clinical survey by examination, right? Identifying visible signs of malnutrition or specific nutrient deficiencies, be it kwashiorkor, marasmus, or a severely acute malnourished child. So they are all clinical surveys. The last type of survey is the behavioral survey. That is investigate the knowledge, attitude, and practice related to diet and nutrition. What is the second component of the NNMS is food supply and expenditure data. First one was surveying. Second one is food supply and expenditure data. That is monitoring agricultural production, food prices, household expenditure on food, right? The third one is health and disease monitoring, tracking diet-related diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, hypertension. Why? Because they are all directly related to nutrition. The last one is special population studies, that is conducting focused assessments for vulnerable groups like children, pregnant women, elderly, and people living in the lower income areas. So how do they collect the data? The methodology is utilizes surveys, sentinel sites, as I told, like sentinel surveillance, they are designated sites where there is higher chance of malnourishment, right? So, and remote sensing. Okay. The second, data analysis, is by employing statistical tools and models to interpret the data. Third one is reporting, that is findings are published in public health reports and made accessible to the policymakers, researchers, and to the general public. So what are the challenges for NNMS? First one is the data gaps, that is limited coverage of remote areas or marginalized population. Second one is resource constraint, that is financial and human resources may limit the survey frequency if there are not much manpower, right? The third one is data standardization, that is ensuring uniformity in data collection methods. It should be the same in every district in India, right? So it can't change the way we collect data. And the last one, integration issues, that is coordinating the data from multiple agencies and sectors. We have n number of people along with the government, the NGOs, right? UNICEF, UNESCO, WHO, all these things will be doing their own surveys. So there has to be some integration between all these data. What is the importance here? First one is health promotion. That is, it guides efforts to reduce malnutrition, obesity, and diet-related other diseases. Sustainable development goal, that is, it supports the global goals like ending hunger, that is SDG 2, okay, and promoting health, that is SDG 3. So this is related to two SDGs, SDG 2, that is ending hunger, and SDG 3, that is promoting health. The other importance is emergency response, that is providing insights into nutrition during crisis such as natural disasters or pandemics also. The next question is regarding Prevention of Food Adulteration Act and the IDD program. So what is this Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954?
Sir,
Hello.
your video is off.
Okay, 1 minute. I didn't off it. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
So we were discussing about the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954. So it played a significant role in contributing to the iodine deficiency disorders, right? By ensuring the mandatory iodization of salt and preventing the sale of non-iodized salt. That is, now every salt which is available in the market is iodized. So there is no availability of non-iodized salt in the market. That is because of this Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954. So although this PFA Act was repealed in the year 2006 and replaced by something called as FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standards Act in the year 2006, its provision and impact remain foundational to India's IDD control program. So what was the role here? First one was mandatory iodization of salt. So rules were introduced to mandate the iodization of edible salt to a minimum iodine content of 15 parts per million, okay, at the consumer level. So it was ensured a consistent supply of iodized salt in the market, addressing iodine deficiency in the population. The other role is prevention of non-iodized salt in sale. That is, the act prohibited the sale of non-iodized salt for human consumption, thereby reducing the risk of iodine deficiency disorders, which are they goiter, mental retardation, and hypothyroidism. So, third one is quality standards. That is, it sets the quality standards for salt iodization and defines the penalties for non-compliance to ensure iodine stability during transportation, storage, and consumption. So what is the transition to the FSAI? Now, since the PFA Act is repealed and the FSAI is the one which is controlling, so the transition is the FSSAI repealed it in the year 2006, right? So mandatory iodized salt regulation continues. Still, it continues under this framework too. So the sale of non-iodized salt is prohibited, and it has been changed from 15 to 30. Okay. So iodized salt has a minimum iodine content of 30 parts per million at the production level and at least 15 at the consumer level. So it can come as an MCQ question. What is the amount of iodine required in the salt it should be at the production level 30 parts per million, and at the consumer level at least 15 parts per million. Okay, so enforcement mechanism, how it strengthens the monitoring through inspections, sampling, and testing the salt. Violators are heavily penalized under the act. Packaging and labeling rules, that is iodized salt must be properly labeled and they have to indicate that iodine content. Okay, mislabeling or selling substandard iodized salt is strictly punishable. The latest rules are, first one is fortification standards of 2016, that is integrating standards for salt fortification with iodine, encouraging salt producers to include both iodine and iron. So now we have started something called as iron, that is I am putting the short form for iron, Fe, and iodine. Okay, iodine, both are present in the salt in some places today. So this is what the current update is. Okay, the second one is monitoring programs, that is periodic testing of salt samples from retail outlets and production companies to ensure compliance to the regulations. The public awareness campaign, that is FSSAI, collaborates with the stakeholders like National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program to promote iodized salt use and educate the consumers. The contribution to IDD control program is, first one is reduction in the IDD prevalence, right? After mandatory iodization, there has been a significant decline in iodine deficiencies. Second one is policy support. It has been instrumental in achieving milestones of universal salt iodization program. So it's a critical component of the national IDD control program. Third one is quality assurance and standardization. It ensures that iodine levels remain effective throughout the supply chain, that is from the production to the consumer. Okay, and there is no loss of iodine. What are the challenges here? Challenges is ensuring iodine content consistency in the remote areas also, and addressing iodine deficiency in population consuming salt, which are substitutes or low sodium diets. Okay, so what are the opportunities available? Strengthening collaboration between FSSAI and the National Program for Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program and various state governments for monitoring. Also expanding the use of double fortified salt. What is that? Iron and iodine, which is iodine and iron, to tackle anemia along with IDD. The third question is Indian Red Cross Society. So it is one of the most prominent humanitarian organizations in India, playing a significant role in public health, disaster response, and community welfare. It was established in the year 1920 under the Indian Red Cross Society Act. So it operates as a part of Global Red Cross and Red Crescent movement and functions under the guidance of the President of India. So who is serving as the patron of the Indian Red Cross Society? It is the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, right? It was established in the year 1920 under the Indian Red Cross Society Act, that is passed by the Parliament of India. Okay, so it operates as a part of Global Red Cross. So it is under the Global Red Cross Society and the Red Crescent movement. Okay, so what are the objectives of this organization? First one is promote health and well-being through awareness campaigns and health education. First, most important one is promotion of health. Second one is provide what? Medical assistance, including first aid and emergency services. Address health emergencies during especially disasters and pandemics. Whenever there is any flood or earthquake or any other natural disaster, first people to come there will be Red Cross people. Okay. Last one is support, that is supporting marginalized communities with access to healthcare facilities and resources. So these are the objectives of Red Cross. So what are the key public health roles and contributions of the Indian Red Cross Society? First one is, as I mentioned, the disaster and emergency response, right? In that, medical relief in disasters, like providing emergency medical aid, ambulance services, supplies during natural disasters. Pandemic response during the COVID-19, we saw the Indian Red Cross, they provided personal protective equipments, organized vaccination drives, provided oxygen cylinders, right? N number of other donation services. Blood donation camps. So it operates one of the largest network of blood banks in the India. Okay. So the second set of role is the first aid and health education, that is training program, conducting regular first aid and CPR training for general public, students and the health professionals. Health awareness campaigns, organizing campaigns on hygiene, sanitation, disease prevention, especially for malaria, tuberculosis, dengue, etc. and the non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension. The third component is maternal and child health related. So their nutrition and immunization programs, it supports pregnant women and children with nutrition, vaccination and counseling services. Infant care support, distributing essential items like baby kits, food supplements and medicines to low-income families. Disease prevention and control, controlling the HIV/AIDS pandemic, providing counseling, testing and community support to people living with HIV. Leprosy and TB, running awareness and treatment programs to combat leprosy and TB. Okay. The last one is malaria, participating in vector control measures. Public health infrastructure, providing mobile health units where they deliver healthcare services to remote areas. Okay. So they go in a mobile van to the place where there is no PHC or any doctor available. So there they conduct medical camps. Okay. Hospitals and clinics, operating hospitals, dispensaries, and rehabilitation centers that provide affordable and cheap healthcare. Blood donation and transfusion services, promoting voluntary blood donation, conducting blood donation drives among youth population, ensuring a steady and safe supply of the blood. Safe blood storage and distribution, not only donating blood, but also ensure blood is tested for infections like HIV, hepatitis B before it is distributed to the receiver. Collaborations with the government and organizations. First collaboration is with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, supporting national health campaigns like immunization, disease eradication initiatives. WHO and Red Cross Network, that is the international network, collaboration on global health issues like disaster preparedness, response, and community resilience. National Disaster Management Authority, that is NDMA, I will discuss in the disaster management class. So it helps in disaster risk reduction and capacity building to emergency health response. Recent initiatives was during the COVID, then there was Blood Connect campaign and community health programs. Okay. So what are the challenges here? Resource constraints, limited funding and resources hindered the scalability of the program. Volunteer retention, that is maintaining a motivated and skilled volunteer base. Like people will come as volunteers, then they might leave, they might migrate to some other place. So they require a good number of people who are in the system dedicated. Okay. The last one is outreach in the remote areas is very difficult. So what is the impact of this ICRS on the society? First one is enhanced emergency health services. Second is community resilience, that is by promoting health awareness campaigns. Third one is support for vulnerable population. So the next question is starvation in India, challenges and ways to avert it. So what is starvation? It is a severe form of food insecurity where individuals suffer from prolonged deprivation of adequate food and nutrients, leading to extreme hunger, malnutrition, and even sometimes death. All of us know the Great Bengal Famine, right, which occurred during the Second World War, just before the Second World War. So that is what starvation means. People don't have anything to eat for a prolonged period of time, not even one time a day. So despite India's significant strides in economic growth and agriculture production, starvation and hunger remain critical issues, especially among the marginalized communities. So what are the current challenges which are leading to starvation? First one is poverty and inequality. Despite the economic growth, the income inequality leaves a significant portion of population unable to afford nutritious food. We talk about the K-shaped economy, right? So there are people who are here rich, they become richer. The poor become poorer. Okay, so this is what the K-shaped economy is. So this is one of the contribution factor for continuous poverty. Second one is food distribution gaps. Like while India produces enough food to feed its population, inefficiency in the public distribution system leads to wastage and inadequate coverage in certain areas. We have food, but it is not stored properly. So it gets rotten very fast. So there is food scarcity because of that. Lack of nutritional awareness, that is poor knowledge about balanced diet. nutrition, thus which exacerbates the malnutrition and micronutrient deficiencies. Unemployment. What are the current challenges leading to unemployment? That is joblessness, particularly in rural and semi-urban areas, reduces the purchasing power of the population, thus increasing the food insecurity. Natural disasters and climate change. There is drought, there is flood, there is erratic weather patterns in different parts of India at the same time. So all this, what they will do, they will hinder the agriculture produce, thus causing food scarcity. The last one is urban migration. That is, migrants in the urban areas often lack access to subsidized food. Means because the cost of living in the cities is very high compared to a rural area. So they can't afford the food in a urban setup. So that's why subsidized food is required for people. What are the strategies here? First one is strengthening the food security program. That is the public distribution system, improving the efficiency, reducing the leakage, integrating technology such as biometric authentication, digitized ration cards, expanding the PDS coverage to ensure no house is left out, especially in rural and tribal areas. Mind you, this entire thing has been done. All the ration cards have been digitized and they have been linked to the Aadhaar platform. So they have removed many fake ration cards also. So now this policy has been implemented by the government. The second one is in the midday meal scheme, that is ensuring consistent implementation of school meal program, providing children nutritious food at least once in a day. Okay, enriching the meals with fortified food to decrease the micronutrient deficiencies. Third one is ICDS, that is Integrated Child Development Services, where they enhance the reach and quality of supplementary nutrition provided to the children, pregnant women, lactating women, and other adolescent groups at the Anganwadi centers. The second strategy is promoting agricultural reforms. First one is boost small farmer holding, smallholder farming. That is provide subsidies, credit, and training to small scale farmers who to improve food production. Encourage diversification to include high nutrition crops like pulses, fruits, and vegetables in the cultivation. Climate resilient agriculture, that means adopt a drought resistant crop technique and sustainable farming practices so that even the natural disasters won't affect the agricultural produce. Reduce post harvest losses, that means invest in better storage facilities, cold chains, and transportation to minimize the food wastage. So whatever is being produced, if it is not stored properly, again it will become of no use, right? So it is loss both for the farmer and to the government. Reducing poverty and inequality, that is the third strategy. That is employing the employment generation programs like the Manrega. Okay, Manrega is one initiative where the rural youth are employed so that they can get at least a minimum support for living. Livelihood support, that is promoting skill development. As I told you, we don't lack only education, we lack skills, right? So entrepreneurship among rural and urban poor, ensuring that they can afford the food. Universal basic income, this is yet to materialize. So pilot schemes for a minimum income guarantee to prevent destitution and hunger are in progress in different states. The fourth strategy is addressing malnutrition, that is by food fortification, ensuring staples like rice, wheat flour, edible oil are fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. Okay, so what I gave example, iodized salt, then double fortified salt, that is iron and iodine both, right? So that is food fortification. Community kitchens, that is establishing government supported kitchens to provide free or subsidized meal, especially in the urban slums and disaster affected regions. Third one is nutritional education, conducting awareness campaigns about affordable and nutrition diet. Okay. The next strategy is policy and governance reforms. That is, first one is Right to Food Act. So the National Food Security Act has been passed by the government, and we have to, what we have to do, we have to enforce and expand the scope of this program effectively. Okay. Decentralized procurement, that is encouraging states to procure and distribute the food locally to ensure faster delivery and less wastage. Monitoring and accountability, establishing independent monitoring systems to track food distribution and address the grievances effectively. The next strategy is leveraging the technology using digital solutions, food bank networks, and precision agriculture using GIS mapping and AI tools to predict the weather conditions, and the soil health of the land. Okay. So what is the role of civil society and private sector here? The NGOs like Akshay Patra, Goonj play a critical role in supplementing government efforts. Okay. Corporate social responsibility, private companies can fund the food distribution programs, set up food banks, support innovative hunger eradication solutions. What are the long-term goals for sustainable food security? First one is universal access to basic services. Ensure access to clean water, sanitation, healthcare, because they are very essential for each and every person, thus reducing malnutrition. Okay. Population stabilization, promoting family planning, education about balanced food diet, thus reducing the demand from the community. Economic inclusivity, focusing on inclusive growth to ensure equitable distribution of resources and opportunities to the population. So the next question is epidemic drop C. Okay. What is the overview here? It is a condition caused by consumption of food, that is typically edible oils, contaminated with argemone oil. So here it is adulteration of edible vegetable oils by argemone oil, which is extracted from the seeds of Argemone mexicana plant, commonly known as Mexican prickly poppy plant. Okay. So it's a toxic condition that affects multiple organ systems, leading to serious health complications and also death. What are the causes here? Argemone oil is often mixed with mustard oil, okay, and other edible oils to reduce the cost. Basically, they are cheating the general public by reducing the quantity of mustard oil and supplementing it with a cheaper argemone oil. So what is the problem here? The toxic components in the argemone oil. What is it? Sanguinarine and dihydrosanguinarine. So this is the toxic component in the argemone oil. This is what causes epidemic dropsy. Okay, what does it do? It causes endothelial damage and capillary permeability. That means there is leakage of plasma. So what are the symptoms? They manifest with a range of systematic symptoms due to the capillary leakage and fluid retention in the body. So what are the early symptoms? First is edema, swelling, primarily in the legs, that is pedal edema. Second is nausea and vomiting. Third is diarrhea, abdominal discomfort, and weakness and fatigue. These are the early symptoms. What are the advanced symptoms? First in that is cardiovascular, like tachycardia, breathlessness, congestive heart failure in severe cases. Dermatological, like redness, rashes, peeling of the skin, tenderness and burning sensation, etc. Ocular symptoms like glaucoma, photophobia, etc. Neurological symptoms like headache, dizziness, neuropathy, and tingling sensation in the hands and legs. What are the fatal outcomes? Severe cases can lead to multi-organ failure and death in the individual. So what is the diagnosis? It is based on clinical symptoms, that is swelling, skin changes, and systemic symptoms. History of oil consumption, that is one positive history we have to ask. That is identification of the contaminated mustard oil. We have to give it for the lab to test for adulteration. So the lab detects sanguinarine in the blood or the urine of the person. So also oil adulteration test, that is paper test or chemical analysis, chromatography they do. Okay. What is the treatment here? There is no specific antidote. There is no specific antidote for the epidemic dropsy, but we give symptomatic treatment. What is that? Discontinuation of contaminated oil. Immediately stop the consumption. Diuretics used to reduce the edema, right? So there is edema in the body, so we reduce it by giving diuretics. Cardiovascular support for patients with congestive heart failure, start on ACE inhibitors or beta blockers. Nutritional support, balanced diet to correct the malnutrition in that person. Antioxidants and vitamins that may help mitigate the oxidative stress on the body. Last one is management of organ complications, like if there is kidney failure, dialysis, oxygen therapy in case of respiratory distress. How do you prevent this? First one is by regulatory measures, that is stringent food security standards, strict enforcement of the FSSAI regulation on adulteration, periodic testing of oils, like conducting routine inspections of edible oil production and supply chains. Consumer awareness is the second prevention. If we are educated enough, then nobody can harm us. So educating the public about risk of buying loose or unbranded oils, because they have low cost. So if they are not sealed properly, it is not produced by a company or a the packet doesn't have any FSSAI seal, then please don't buy such oil. Okay. How to test for adulteration at home? Just add nitric acid to the oil and check for a red color change, which is indicative of argemone oil. Okay. Strengthening the monitoring mechanisms, that is collaboration between government agencies, food security organizations to monitor and control adulteration. Notable outbreaks in India, there was epidemic dropsy outbreaks in several Indian states, including mainly Delhi, UP, and MP. Okay, due to the widespread use of mustard oil and challenges in the monitoring adulteration. So the next question is concept of recommended daily allowance. So it is RDA, short form is RDA. So RDA is a set of dietary reference established to indicate the daily level of nutrient intake. How much a person requires every day, amount of carbohydrates, proteins, minerals, and other vitamins. How much a person should consume every day. That is what RDA tells. And it is specific to age group, gender, and life stage, be it pregnancy or lactating mother. So it changes from person to person. Okay, so it serves as a guideline for optimal health and helps in planning balanced diet, avoiding both deficiencies and excess, that is toxicities. What are the key aspects? The purpose is to ensure adequate nutrition and prevent deficiencies, to serve as a reference or nutritional labeling for food fortification. So we don't know what is normal, how much normally it should be there. So if we have a RDA fixed value, then we can use it as a reference value. Then to guide healthcare providers and policymakers in addressing the public health needs of the community. Second aspect is basis of determination of what RDA values are based on the scientific research, and they represent the average daily intake, right? So factors like age, sex, weight, height, physical activity, physiological statuses like pregnancy, etc., they influence the RDA. Regional differences are there. That means RDAs, they vary, their values vary between countries and organizations. Okay, ICMR, but WHO or Institute of Medicine, they all give their own different RDA values. So we have to follow the ICMRs because it is the gold standard for Indian population. So some special conditions where RDAs are there means in pregnancy and lactation, there is increased energy, protein, iron, calcium, and folic acid requirement, right? There is a growing fetus and the mother is also putting on weight. So both of their intake is to be increased. So example, folic acid, it is 400 microgram per day, and iron 35 mg per day during pregnancy. Elderly individuals, they have to reduce their energy requirements. Why? Because metabolic rate has reduced in them. So for them, the RDA is not like a 18-year-old male child, right? So increased calcium and vitamin D is required for them. So in them, amount of calcium and vitamin D is much more than a younger person. So they have to increase that. So next is in children, higher nutrient density required for growth and development. So higher glycemic index food or more nutritious food, they have to be catered towards the children's. What are the applications of RDA? First one is individual and group diet planning. That is helps the design balanced diet to meet the specific nutrition needs. Public health programs, that is used to address nutritional deficiencies like iodine in salt, iron in wheat flour, etc. Nutritional labeling, that is provides benchmarks for the percentage daily value on the food packaging. What are the limitations? These are averages and not individual specific recommendations. So it may not account for differences in the bioavailability of nutrients, right? So due to dietary patterns or health conditions, they change from place to place also, right? In India, we have n number of different diets which are followed. The north consumes more of wheat, the south consumes more of rice. So there itself, the amount of carbohydrate intake or the protein intake varies from place to place, right? So it is little listening. So I'll discuss one more extra topic, that is Poshan Abhiyan. Okay, so this is one of the main question which can come from nutrition chapter. So what is Poshan Abhiyan? Also known as National Nutrition Mission. So it's a flagship program by the government launched in the year 2018 on March 8. What is the aim? Improving nutritional outcomes for children, adolescents, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. So it operates not under the MOHFW, it is under the Women and Child Development Ministry, and it aligns with the SDG 2. What was that? As I told earlier, it is zero hunger and reducing malnutrition. So what are the objectives here? First one is reduce malnutrition. That is target the reduction of stunting, underweight and low birth weight among children. Second is improve maternal nutrition. That is address anemia, malnutrition in women of the reproductive age. Third is promote behavioral change. That is enhance the nutritional awareness through social and community mobilization. Strengthening systems. That is integrating existing nutrition schemes for better coordination and implementation. What are the targets? The annual targets have been set. Okay, these are the 2022 targets. Reduce stunting from 38.4% to 25% by 2022. Reduce underweight by 2% every year. Reduce anemia by 3% every year. Among whom? Among young children, adolescents, and women. Reduce low birth weight by 2% annually. So reduce stunting, reduce underweight prevalence by 2% annually, reduce low birth weight by 2% annually, and reduce anemia by 3% annually among adolescents, children, and young women. So what are the key features here? First one is the convergence approach. That is, it unifies and coordinates efforts of multiple ministries like Women and Child Development, MOHFW, and Ministry of Education. So there is intersectoral coordination. Links with the existing schemes like ICDS, Midday Meal Scheme, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. What is this? This is providing 6,000 rupees to all pregnant women. Okay. So second one is use of technology. So ICT based monitoring introduces the real-time monitoring of Anganwadi services which are being provided. How much ration of food is given to the pregnant woman? How much immunization is going on? What is the status of midday meal provided in the Anganwadi? So all these things is tracked digitally. Okay, so there is an app called Poshan Tracker. So you can go online and check for Poshan Tracker. You will get the India state-wise, district-wise statistics regarding malnutrition and other indicators of health. Okay, so next is Jan Andolan. That is, it's a people's movement. What is it? It focuses on community participation. One more primary healthcare goal, right? So to spread awareness about nutrition, that is includes campaigns like Poshan Pakwara, that means nutrition fortnight, and Poshan Ma. Ma means month. So 2 weeks of a month or the entire month is dedicated for promoting nutrition related awareness campaigns. Okay, so next is sorry. So next one is specific interventions, that is promoting breastfeeding, complementary feeding, addressing micronutrient deficiencies through food fortification, example fortified rice, salt and oil, screening and management of severe acute malnutrition. These are the specific interventions under the scheme. Capacity building, that is training of Anganwadi workers, frontline health workers on nutrition, hygiene and childcare practices. The major components of Poshan Abhiyan are maternal and child health, that is ensure adequate antenatal, postnatal and care for the pregnant and lactating women. Second one is promoting dietary diversity and iron supplementation, iron and folic acid supplementation for the pregnant women. In the adolescents, that is the second component, focusing on improving the dietary habits and anemia levels in the adolescent girls. Third is early childhood care and education, encouraging proper nutrition, cognitive stimulation for children below 6 years of age. Okay, where at the Anganwadi centers. Last component is behavioral change, that is encouraging healthy eating habits, personal hygiene, sanitation practices through community level programs. So what is the progress achieved? First one, awareness, increased the community level awareness of malnutrition and its effects have been seen. Technological integration has been done. Policy convergence, that is strengthened the coordination of health, education and nutrition schemes. Poshan Mahan Pakwada successfully engages the communities in promoting nutrition and healthy practices. Challenges are, first one is implementation goal, infrastructure, human resources, all those things. Awareness deficit, that is behavioral and cultural practices, they often hinder the nutrition adaptation. I tell something which is good, then there are some pre-decided norms which are there in the society which will tell no, it is wrong. So there is awareness deficit among the community. So we have to include local workers from that community itself as a leader to educate them regarding the proper balanced diet. data accuracy, that is inconsistent reporting and monitoring mechanisms. Last is the funding constraints. The way forward is how? By strengthening the infrastructure, upgrading the Anganwadi centers, capacity building, training, and maintaining the steady number of health workers, focusing on local solutions like leveraging the local food resources and traditional knowledge to address malnutrition. And the last one is address the underlying cause, that is improve access to clean water, sanitation, health services, and thus complement the nutrition efforts. Thanks for watching Auricle. I suggest you to hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ma'am, can I redo my first this thing? I was not happy with the testimony.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, are you recording?
Sir, your video is off.
Uh, okay.
Yes, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah. Hello, I am Dr. Preetham Shenoy from the Department of PSM. So as a teacher on Oracle MBBS teaching platform, I have had an incredibly fulfilling experience. The platform offers a seamless interface that allows educators and the students to interact with each other in a seamless way. What sets Oracle apart from other competitors is its commitment in fostering an interactive, student-centered approach. The ability to integrate multimedia, live quizzes, polls, real-time discussions has transformed my education experience. The way how I teach has improved considerably by using the Oracle platform. Also, Oracle has empowered the students too by bridging the gap between the theoretical concepts and what is the reality, that is the clinical practice. So I am proud of being part of this Oracle platform, which is dedicated in shaping future healthcare leaders. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.